I'm a big fan. You failed this city.
I'm not that person anymore.
There aren't any heroes in here.
Breaking news out of Star City this morning that the vigilante known as the Green Arrow has returned.
Oliver Queen is in prison.
Then there's another psycho in green leather who assaults people with a bow and arrow.
We have reason to believe that a vigilante is impersonating the Green Arrow.
Not fighting back has never been what you're about.
I have always done what I had to do.
Sometimes people just need something to believe in.
I want to get back to my family.
He can't help you.
Arrow. All new episodes Monday, October 15th on the CW.
Alright, what is going on guys, it's Tazz here, and welcome back to the channel. Now today what I've got for you guys is another Arrow and DC TV crossover video. So what I want to go over with you guys in this video is the new Season 7 trailer for Arrow, as well as some casting news about the big bad for this year's Arrowverse Batwoman crossover. So let's start off with the Arrow trailer. I was originally not going to cover it, but I thought I might as well throw it into another news video when something inevitably pops up, so here we are. The trailer starts off with how the first Comic-Con one did with Oliver passing the time by, just working out. But then we get to the introduction of a brand new character for the season, a fellow inmate of Oliver's named Stanley, who comes up to him and delivers a pretty funny Green Arrow fanboy line. And we get a pretty hilarious reaction from Oliver, but that's really the biggest new piece of information from this trailer. Just there's this new guy in prison named Stanley, and he seems like he's going to be pretty important to Oliver's story, at least for the first couple of episodes. It seems like Stanley is going to be wanting help from Oliver dealing with the other criminals locked up in Slabside, some of which include Oliver's old enemies such as Bronze Tiger, Stardust, and Brick. It seems like Oliver is supposed to make a pretty terrible and unforgivable decision in prison this season. Could this possibly be hinting at Oliver not helping Stanley out, which could lead to his death? And that would be pretty brutal, and we will just have to wait and see if this actually does end up playing out this way. But in a previous video, I did also mention how I thought that Stanley could also somehow have an escape plan, and he's trying to get Oliver in on it. So again, we shall see. And like I said earlier, the rest of the trailer is pretty much some of the same old from the last Comic-Con trailer. We get some more shots of that really awesome shower fight scene, which is going to be pretty awesome, and I can't wait to see it in its entirety. We also have Oliver being detained in the prison yard after a fight, with the guards saying that there aren't any heroes in here. So maybe Oliver did in fact try to save Stanley at first, and maybe this kind of turns him away from doing so in the future. Then the trailer transitions into what is going on in Star City, giving us some of the same few shots that we've seen in the previous trailer of the new Archer in town. Now, there has been a lot of speculation on who this Archer really is. Now, I mean, he could be Roy, this could be someone from the Longbow Hunters, or someone just trying to set Oliver up. But in case you guys haven't heard, Roy is supposed to be very different this season, so we could see a clone Young Justice style Roy, or maybe a brainwashed Roy, going around the city pretending to be the Green Arrow, or maybe even thinking that he is in fact the Green Arrow. But personally, I think that this copycat Archer has something to do with Diaz and the Longbow Hunters, and maybe Roy may have a different purpose. But the clone Roy with a missing arm would still be very cool to see at some point. Next up, we get some more of Earth 2 Laurel stepping into the shoes of the original Laurel, which is pretty cool. I'm glad she's getting a redemption arc this season that started towards the end of last season. I feel like she will eventually work her way to being more and more like the original Laurel, but still retaining a bit of that Earth 2 personality, and I'm very excited for her storyline going forward. And after this, we get some more of Diggle talking with Oliver in prison, saying that fighting back was never what Oliver was good at, and then some more shots of the villains and a bit more of that shower scene, showing that he will indeed end up fighting back. And finally, the trailer ends off with Oliver saying that he wants to go back to his family, followed by what most people believe is a dream sequence that Oliver will have in prison, with Diaz coming after William and Felicity. And that basically does it for the second trailer for Season 7 of Arrow. Not a lot of new stuff in there, but still a very cool trailer and a pretty good hype builder if you ask me. I think it is also pretty interesting how they're keeping the season so secretive, but I think it will be a very good season, and I think all of these secrets and mysteries surrounding the season will be a good thing once we finally see the show return. But now let's get into talking about that crossover news. Earlier today, the casting of the big bad for this year's Arrowverse DC TV Batwoman, whatever you want to call it, crossover was announced. Here's the little press release from DC about the casting, and as always, I will link it down in the description for you guys if you want to go check it out for yourselves. The quote reads as follows: Jeremy Davies has been cast in the role of Dr. John Deegan in the upcoming 3-night event. Dr. Deegan is a doctor at Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane in Gotham City, but he might just be crazier than the inmates he treats. His machinations will draw Green Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl to Gotham City. There's almost certainly more to this Dark Doctor than there appears on the surface, and the fact that he's at Arkham means there's no shortage of psychopaths at hand that he could recruit to his cause. So that is a very interesting character description that gives us a bit more context for the crossover, as well as teases the possibility of more familiar comic villains appearing as well. It seems like this conflict with the Doctor at Arkham will draw all of our heroes together in Gotham City, where they will meet the newest Arrowverse hero in the form of Batwoman. So will she somehow know of the Flash, Green Arrow, and Supergirl, or will they all just kind of bump into Batwoman after being drawn to Gotham City and Arkham Asylum? We will just have to wait and see. And that name, John Deegan, after a quick Google search and a little bit of a scroll through social media, I think I figured out who this character is, along with a lot of other people as well. I think that this Arkham Asylum Doctor could be a spin on the DC Comics villain John D, aka Dr. Destiny, whose powers allow him to manipulate reality thanks to the Dreamstone. While the description for the character is a bit different than it is in the comics, you can't deny how similar the names sound, and the ties that both characters have with Arkham Asylum make him the perfect candidate for the villain of this year's crossover. So I don't know too much about Dr. Destiny other than what I looked up real quick before recording this video and what I remember from that Justice League animated series episode he was in as well. All I really know is that he's pretty creepy and crazy, and he has a skull for a face, and he fights people through dreams, so basically Skeletor in your dreams with the use of a magical rock that can bend reality like the Reality Stone. So let's just call him Dreamstone Skeletor. I think that's fine, let's go with that. But overall though guys, I think Dr. Destiny being the big bad of this year's DC TV crossover will be very exciting, and I think that he could either look kind of cool or kind of ridiculous, but either way, I'm just very excited for this guy being the villain of the crossover. And I know I keep saying this, but the more and more news we get for this year's crossover, the more excited I am. So I want to know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. What did you think of the new Arrow trailer? What do you think of the casting of the big bad for this season's crossover? And do you think that it is possible that he will end up being Dr. Destiny? I want to know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. But until next time guys, it's been Tazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video.